The Everyday Messenger Bag by Peak Design. Now, chances are you've already seen half a dozen videos showing all the features of the bag, what it's good for, what it's not so good for, but what I haven't found on YouTube is a video that shows what it looks like after a year of everyday use. So I actually backed this bag on Kickstarter when it first came out, so I've been using it for just over a year now, and I've actually been using it every single day. I use it to carry my laptop, my headphones, whatever I have with me, or when I go on photo shoots. This is actually my primary shooting bag. So I want to go through a couple of details here with the bag and show you how the wear and tear has affected the bag. Go through a couple of details here, how the buckles have held up, the zippers have held up, the actual material, the bottom, the straps, and things like that. And once we've done that, I want to talk about a couple of things that I think maybe could be improved about this bag, and a couple of flaws that I've found over the course of the last year. So first I want to talk about the material here. It is really, really durable. So at first I was worried that it would start kind of fuzzing because it is, I don't know if you can hear this. The material is a little bit strange, and I was worried that it would start fuzzing over time and collecting like little lint balls like you might see on a sweater, but that actually hasn't been the case. So the material has held up really well over time. It is coated in wax, and after a year there does still appear to be wax. Maybe you could do a waxing on it after a couple of years, but so far it seems to be holding up just fine. The next thing is the overall shape of the bag. And I would just want to show it to you like this. You can see that it still looks really good shape-wise. So there's nothing here that really is deformed. Everything looks pretty good. A couple of panels got a little bit looser just because I've been stuffing this bag to the brim with laptop and iPad and notebooks, and then on top of that all the camera stuff hanging off the side. So overall I would give this a pretty good rating for durability in terms of the actual material on the outside. Now let's move on to the zippers. The zippers have actually been excellent. I haven't found any flaws here with the zippers yet. All of them have been working fine. There is a point where I could maybe see some trouble sneaking in here. So let me show it up close here. Hopefully you can see that in this corner. There's a little bit of a bulge here from the zipper. It still opens just fine, but this is where the corner of the laptop pokes out sometimes. So it's possible that within the next year or two, this zipper could break. Now the bag is backed by a lifetime warranty, so I'm hoping Peak Design will honor that if it does happen. So far nothing has actually broken, but you know, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens here. Now the clasp mechanism still works the same way as it did on day one. The magnet is still strong. There is a rubber band here that is still really working pretty well. I was worried that maybe it would stretch over time, but this still seems to have a lot of hold to it. On the actual ladders here, you can see a little bit of wear and tear, but nothing that would actually damage the material. So this has held up really well over time, and I have opened this hundreds, maybe thousands of times over the last year. So this is all a really good sign for the bag. All right, so let's look inside the bag and see how it has held up there. So the way I have it configured is by just having these two dividers in here, and you can see here that there's a little bit of fuzz. So I haven't cut this off with the scissors yet. This happened pretty early actually after getting the bag, so I'm hoping this doesn't unravel anymore. We'll see what happens if I cut it off or not, but I don't think that's something really to worry about. But it would be nice to see maybe like a wax coating around the edge here so it doesn't come apart right there. Let's move on to this little pouch up here. This little pouch I use all the time, and there hasn't really been any wear and tear here. The stitching has held up really well. These little elastic pouches here don't seem to have any stretch to them, even though I've been filling them up pretty good over the last couple of months with a bunch of batteries and things like that. So there isn't really any wear and tear that I could see here. Overall, the stitching on the bag has held up really, really well so far, and I'm hoping that trend continues for the next couple of months or years. All right, so let's close her back up here, and there is one more thing on the outside of the bag that I really want to talk about, which is the bottom of the bag. Now, you put the bag down all the time in all kinds of places when you're outdoors or indoors, if it's on a bunch of dirt or rocks or abrasive material. So to me, it's really important that the bottom here remains really strong. And I'm happy to report that after a full year, there's barely any wear on here. And I have been placing this outside and on abrasive materials and concrete and things like that. And there hasn't really been any wear and tear. I'm going to see if I can show you the corners here. Maybe you can see here, there's really, the stitching is just fine. There's been a little bit of stretch here, but nothing to worry about. The bottom here has remained nice and snug. Nothing is peeling off. There's a couple of tiny spots where just the rubber material appears to be coming off the fabric a tiny bit, but at this point I wouldn't say that it's anything to worry about. So I'm hoping this will last another good couple of years, and if it eventually does totally come off, wear off, or break apart, I'll get in touch with Peak Design and see if I can make use of their lifetime warranty, because this is something I do expect to break during the lifetime of a bag at some point, just because there's a lot of abrasive action going on here all the time. So next, let's talk about what I think could be improved about this bag. And the number one flaw that I have found about this bag is this. It doesn't really seem to matter what combination of items I put in the bag, it just seems to fall over all the time. On a couple of days I'll get lucky and I'll manage to balance it just right by having a laptop in the bag and maybe some medium weight items in the center compartments, but it just seems to fall over all the time. And that can be quite annoying, especially when I have a couple of lenses in here and I may not have closed the bag all the way. So for example, I'm on a photo shoot, I put the bag down, I open it up, I take out a bunch of lenses, and then I go take the photos, and in the meantime my bag falls over and all the stuff just rolls out of the bag. So that has been quite frustrating on a couple of occasions, and that's something I wish they could fix. Maybe it's just the way I'm working this bag, or what happens to be the combination of stuff that I have in here, but I think that is something that has been pretty annoying for me personally. Maybe others have experienced the same thing, I'm not sure, but that's something I would like to see improved. There is one more word of warning I would like to give you about this bag, which is if you're using this with the capture clip, I usually keep mine right on here. Now what happens is I have it here and I have maybe a second camera or a lens here, and then I have a camera hanging around my shoulder which kind of flies around here. What I've had happen is that the camera bangs against whatever is attached here, whether that's a lens or camera, and it has actually caused some significant scratches on the screen of my camera, which is very unfortunate. I know it's my fault. I should have used a screen protector. I should have known, but Sony, for a $3,200 camera, you would expect a glass screen. Please, Gorilla Glass. It's on the cheapest smartphones. Why not on these cameras? Anyways, that's a little side rant. So if you choose to use the capture clip with this bag, that is something you do want to look out for, because that can have a damaging effect on your equipment. So that's it for my video today. If you have any questions about this bag, just let me know down below in the comments. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.